down too easily. Everything he throws to the Zerg players getting nothing done. And look at this again, fungal growth and 2 infested Terrans. He's got this down to a science. I guess you need 2 infested Terrans, but as soon as I say he's got it down to a science, he loses them both because the Banshee kills him. And there we go, fungal growth, boom goes the Banshee, double. I'll say it one more time, double sensor towers going down. He wants to get a nice little Venn diagram of awesome going on. Doesn't want EGIdra to get any business in here. Vikings going out to take out these overlords that were caught within the sensor tower's range. EGIdra bringing up this army tab, completely maxed up by 12 supply, and Ultralisk loaded into the overlords. This is going to be an interesting beatdown, I think. Fungal growth on the Hellions. Lings being melted away, but losing an Ultralisk in midair in the form of that. But now the Ultralisks are on the field. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Nom, nom, nom. Eating away at this army. Going down. I feel... Oh, no. Actually, looks like the Terran player might hold. No. Too many Ultralisks. Gonna clean this right on up. Ultralisk chopping away at these Thors. Actually, it's gonna be close. Ultralisk gonna go down, I think. 1 Ultralisk left. Come on, last Ultralisk. You can do it. Does not look like this Ultralisk is gonna be able to hold off, but still... quite the damage by EGIdra, because EGIdra has such economic lead, operating off of 5 bases right now. Our Terran player just trying to reestablish his 4th base. EGIdra has got just able to produce up a storm. Look at this. He's already maxed again. EGIdra lost all those forces, and so quickly again, he is completely maxed. Our Terran player is at 178, almost maxed as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see EGIdra just push in, and look at this. Hellions coming across, trying to do some harassment. Ultralisk going to stop them from doing anything at all. Hellions running away. Lings trying to surround, get past and surround. Finally getting to surround the Hellions. Goodbye, Hellions. Not going to be able to do any real harassment. No drones lost at all. Income tab up 75 to 88. Our Terran player actually ahead in SCV count right now. EGIdra's behind in drones, but at the same time, 88 is quite an impressive number of workers. 75 is not too shabby at all. So I wouldn't be surprised if EGIdra holds back on drone production now and goes more for army, and just a little bit more army. And let's just take a quick look at these upgrades. We'll bring up a Zergling to make it easy. 2-2 upgrades already done. Looking at the production tab, 3-3 almost on the way. EGIdra is going to have a ball of 3-3 Ultralisks to just chomp away at our Terran player. Terran player's upgrades, we'll take a quick look. He is 0-1, looking at 0-2. He is just not keeping up the upgrades the way EGIdra is. Here we go. EGIdra engaging. Ultralisk coming onto the field, running into Hellions. That's not where they're going to do the most damage. They need to get onto those armor units where they're doing 50 damage per chomp. Here we go. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Looks like they're just going to make short work of this Terran army. Terran army forced to back up. Marauders backing up. Thor's going down. And the Ultralisks are actually forced to back up. Too many Thors, too many Marauders. Ultralisks running away for their dear lives. That Frenzy ability stops the Marauders from slowing them at all. But they're just going to give up chase, and EGIdra taking a quick look, because I wouldn't be surprised. EGIdra again is maxed again. EGIdra loses forces and instantly masses them again. You'll see this play sometimes from other players. What they do is they keep trading units essentially for... They trade units, and then they do not allow either player to get maxed. He does not want to face a 200-200 Terran army versus a 200-200 Zerg army unless he has perfect placement to allow that battle to go in his favor. And look at this, our Terran player doesn't even have the base in the proper position. He's got his planetary fortress. He's forcing his workers to long distance mine the gold. It's very interesting. He didn't lift off a move, and here we go. EGIdra coming across the field. Infestors, Lings, and Ultralisks. We're going to see just terrible damage to these Thors. The Bioball army, the Marauders were slightly out of position, allowing these Thors to get, getting these Ultralisks to get right on these Thors and do the damage they need to be doing. Oh man, I don't know what our Terran players can do to stop this. Just looks there's too many Ultralisks. Fungal growth going down on the Marauders. This Planetary Fortress fighting valiantly, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Planetary Fortress finally about to get surrounded, I think. But the SCVs repairing are too much. These Planetary Fortresses are extremely tough for a Zerg player to take down. And again, EGIdra forced to retreat. Bringing up this army tab's already up, and look at that. See, EGIdra's at 190 to 122. He trades his army for the Terran's army, but is able to use that larva production to get right back to max, and he is eventually just going to suffocate our Terran player. Our Terran player now trying to establish his 5th base, hasn't even begun mining, and EGIdra is mining out of every base right now, except for his main, because that is mined out, and is finally getting that gold base up and working, getting a scan down. He's aware of that gold base, but I don't think there's anything our Terran player is going to be able to do to get in there and stop that. He may need to transition air because EGIdra is committing to these Ultralisks hard. taking just a quick gander. 3-3 is now done. Fully upgraded Ultralisk. Vikings just doing a little bit of scouting, but not going to be able to do too much with these Ultralisks and Lings to take down these Vikings from scouting. But these Vikings will not do a lot of damage without landing, and if they land, bye-bye. Ultralisks and Cracklings will tear you up. Just getting all the scouting information you want. Lings running across the field. Lings going right for this 5th expansion, just like little chainsaws on flying wings, and force a lift off, doing just stopping our Terran player from taking any more bases. Hellions coming in to stop the Lings. Blue Flame Hellions just tear Lings up in a mean way. And finally, our Terran player is able to keep these Lings out of the way and prepare to take his 5th expansion. But our Zerg player bringing up these production tab, 81 harvesters to 81 harvesters. Production tab is open. Moving into Corruptors and a Greater Spire. Looks like he might be going Broodlords now, just bringing out every tier 3 unit our Zerg has offered. And a Nidus Canal is on the field. We'll see where he goes with this. Is he going to Nidus Canal into our Terran's base? But our Terran player, look at all these sensor towers. Sensor towers, sensor tower, and one more sensor tower. A little bit of altercation going on. Hellions coming across the field, but forced to back on up. Not doing any damage at all to EGIdra. EGIdra is still at 81 harvesters to 80. Army tab. Both players now max, but here we go. Ultralisk finally engaging this army again. Our Terran player gets fungal growth. Terran player not having the kind of forces he needs to defend this. Ultra is chewing through this, no problem at all. Look at the army tab. I'm going to keep that up for this fight because it's interesting to watch. EGIdra still at 190. Our Terran player down to 143. He was at 188. He is just getting chomped alive, and now EGIdra forced to back up. 174, 180, 197 to 150. EGIdra just producing up a storm at the exact same time as chewing away at this army. EGIdra is just playing magnificently. I love the way he uses those infestors to prevent the Terran player from doing any kind of typical Hellion harass. Exact same time, Nidus Canal goes down, but it was killed by the Vikings before it could actually get out. I was watching that on the screen, didn't see any units come out of that, didn't want to lose the action that we were looking at the same time. Planetary Fortress, just kind of sitting here. I still find this so interesting that he's got this long distance mining, but I guess EGIdra's pressure just forced him to make that Planetary Fortress there for defensive reasons, and these SCVs not getting the kind of production they'd like to get out of this gold. Bring up the income tab. Zerg player 2,000, Terran player 1,300. EGIdra just dominating. Terran player finally getting a little bit of saturation on this 5th base, not able to take the 6th base. Map is cut in half essentially, except for EGIdra is keeping enough pressure that our Terran player can't make full use of his side. Auto turrets go down, trying to harass these drones. Bringing up this income tab was already open, and EGIdra's still at 80 drones, so his auto turret's doing almost nothing to prevent EGIdra's macro. Production tab open, EGIdra's producing nothing, and the reason for that is because he is maxed. Look at that, 5,000 minerals, 2,000 gas. Our Terran player trying to stop this gold, using that long range of that siege tank to be as annoying as possible. But I think EGIdra's economic advantage is just too huge. He just needs a massive larva, and as soon as he decides to push in, it's game over Terran because he's going to instantly produce another 200 to an army. And here we go, Broodlords being created. 4 Broodlords getting ready to come out. Ultralisk Broodlords. He's going to have everything out of the Zerg Tier 3. He's completely mined out in his 2nd expansion, halfway mined out in his 3rd. He is actually going to run out of resources eventually, but our Terran player, I think, is in too much shambles. Our Terran player, 800, 200. The Zerg player just banking minerals, 6,000 to 2,000. Just absolutely insane. And now those Broodlords coming across the field, but those Vikings are going to just chew those Broodlords up. Broodlords having absolutely nothing to back him up. Fungal Grove's going off, but no, it's not hitting. There we go. Finally hits him. 2 or 3 fungal growths. Looks like they missed, but those infested Terrans going down. These Vikings are just sitting there now, not sure if he's even aware that he's unfungal growthed. And at the exact same time, Ultralisk finally get out of the Nidus Canal. Here we go, backdooring on our Terran player. Let's take a quick look here. We have about 8 Ultralisks coming in. Nothing but Marauders. Marauders do great damage against armored units, but guess what? So do Ultralisks. Ultralisks doing everything they can. Marauders trying to kick this Ultralisk. And actually, the Marauders and the Planetary Fortress seem to be too much for our Terran player, for our Zerg player. As I'm watching dead, burned bodies of Ultralisks, I'm saying it's too much for our Terran player. And look at this, he's still trying to get in there with those Vikings. And the Vikings are just being fungal growth down very slowly. Corruptors on the field, going to clean up the remaining Vikings. At the exact same time, there's siege tanks shooting down this gold expansion. And I think our Terran player is finally doing what he needs to do, but our Zerg player's lead may be too insurmountable. He's already at 4,000 minerals, 2,000 gas. He can produce an entire army at a drop of a hat. And here we go, Terran player pushing out Hellions in the lead, followed by siege tanks, Marauders, and Vikings. Forced to back up, scans down, and here we go. tons and tons of Lings going right into number 5 base for our Terran player. We'll see if this Planetary Fortress is able to hold on. The Lings get a very nice surround. It's going to bring up the Planetary Fortress's HP. Planetary Fortress goes down. He's surrounded with the Zerglings, preventing the mass repair. Ultralisk running into the siege tanks and Hellions and Marauders. Ultralisk doing a very valiant job. 8 Ultralisk fighting. It looks like there's going to be too many Ultralisks for this Terran player to deal. Terran player backing up, doing everything he can, but I don't think he's going to be able to prevent EGIdra from rolling over him at this point. Now he is only mining. The gold is completely mined out. He's only mining from one base and one distant mining from another. Not even any SCVs here to repair. Planetary Fortress goes down. Ultralisk chopping through the siege tanks. Oh, EGIdra, these 3-3 Ultralisk doing work and doing tons of it. I think our Terran players quite in dire straits. Army tabs up 174 to 92. EGIdra's been perpetually maxed since the point he hit max first, just eating away at these bases. Our Terran player, look at this. He's long distance mining here. He's almost mined out here. He's mined out here, just sitting idle SCVs. Here we go. EGIdra's going to clean up the last mining base. Ultralisk, chomp, chomp, chomp. I don't think there's anything our Terran player is going to be able to do, but watch it unfold and watch his Ultralisk die. Excuse me, his SCVs die. These Ultralisk doing the killing, not doing the dying. One siege tank, and he good games out. EGIdra taking out a top 10 player on the Korean ladder using nothing but infestors and Zerglings early. Absolutely incredible decision making. His macro just exploded as he kept most of his minerals in the form of drones and hatcheries and did minimal units to protect his base. He just made them count by keeping those fungal growths and keeping those Hellions from moving. As always, if you enjoyed my cast, please subscribe, and I will continue casting either way because I enjoy doing it. Have a great day. See ya.